Welcome back, chums. My name is LastKnownMeal, and as we know by now, police in the upcoming Cyberpunk 2.0 update is getting a rework, and with that, Max Tac will now be an even deadlier foe. But what is Max Tac and why are they so dangerous? Well, to talk about that, we also have to go back a little bit into the past. You see, with the advancement of technology and cyberware becoming widely available and most importantly cheap, or well, at least some models being cheap, people started actively installing them onto themselves. And once that happened, people from all walks of life will buy it. Some will buy cheaper ones, while some will buy military-grade expensive ones. And of course, each cyberware and each quality of that cyberware will depend on how your body is going to react to it. With that comes a new problem, cyberpsychosis. You see, as it was explained in Cyberpunk 2020, 2077 and Edge Runner's anime itself, there are a few contributing factors on how you develop it. First, from the amount of cyberware you put on your body, since well, your own flesh and mind, including your nervous system, might have an issue accepting that implant, and because not every person is the same, it will vary from person to person. Your mental health plays a huge role in that as well, where if you have trauma or you have trouble dealing with that, your mind is not going to take too many augmentations. Then you also have to think about the use of that cyberware, because overusing it can lead to more symptoms that can result in cyberpsychosis. And of course, one day fears came to reality as people who developed it started attacking other random people around them, treating them as nothing but meat bags or body bags. Regular police was dispatched, but what happens when you pin an under-augmented police officer against someone who can snap a car in half? Well, the results are obvious. So then governments around the world decided that everyone should form a special unit, which was back then called CSWAT or Cyborg Suppression Unit, but in Night City they are renamed to Max Tac or Maximum Force Tactical Division. In the streets they are also called Psycho Squad or Cyber Squad. They are also fully augmented, heavily trained, best of the best recruits who are armed with the latest armor and weapons. Their only mission is to go after people who are cyber psychos because they are the only ones who are capable of doing it. Also, they work in squads of 6 members and 1 officer, at least how it was in Cyberpunk 2020. These days, MaxTac can be used as a higher form of SWAT, dealing in some of the most complicated operations NCPD conducts. So in general, they are not only for cyber psychos, but they can also be dispatched on other things. So for your chromed out chums, MaxTac is usually a big problem. Of course, in the game situation is a bit different because, well, you are V, the protagonist after all. But even for V, MaxTac can become a serious problem, or well, depending on the difficulty of playing, but that won't matter anymore because MaxTac is only going to be hard difficulty from now on. Now, during the time of the Red, which started after Arasaka HQ was nuked, MaxTac was a separate entity from NCPD, but they still conducted jobs to maintain, cyber psychos in the city, and they were led by Max Hammerman. Do keep in mind that after some time they were reintegrated into NCPD. MaxTac themselves have to deal with cyberpsychosis, meaning that if you have officers who are fully decked out, they can go through problems as well, pretty much as every single human out there. That's why MaxTac has to go through regular checkups and therapists so they can keep it in check, and usually if it goes out of hand, they're sent to rehabilitation and isolation where they can go back, once they feel better. There are also some rumors in the streets that previous cyber psychos they capture are sometimes taken to be rehabilitated and reprogrammed so they can join their ranks. So among a group of MaxTac officers, there could always be one they repurposed in that sense. In Cyberpunk 2020 and Chromebook, we can also learn their implants include bodyweight decentralized heart cyberware that replaces your heart with synthetic implants that disperse chambers into 3 areas, so basically all of your veins and everything inside of a torso, making them endure a lot more than your regular tube. So fully decked out and fully chromed out. In a nutshell, Max Tac is whom you call when things get really rough. They are the best of the best. Keeping a city like Night City in check is not easy, and if people just relied on regular cops, then there is no way streets would be safe. But because NCPD is a corporation after all, it depends how fast Max Tac will be sent out. If it's a poor neighborhood, well, you really have to cause a lot of problems for them to respond. Imagine Max Tac as those guys that arrive in a base with flip-flops and Hawaiian shirts, but their reputation still follows them as someone you don't mess with. So that's everything for today's lore video. If it was too short, keep in mind that there isn't too much you can learn about Max Tac in general besides this, but if you enjoyed this, click that like and subscribe button for more, and join our community on Twitter and Discord. Huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and as always I will see you in the next video. Stay classy everyone, bye bye.